So one of the most important things when you're first starting out reselling clothing on eBay or Poshmark or Mercari is figuring out what types of brands to be buying, which is very important. And while I do agree that learning to find the brands that are going to be available in your area is very important, but what is more important is figuring out what brands not to buy. That is something that I made a mistake when I first started out reselling. See, I would go out and buy brands like Merona and Faded Glory, and those types of brands aren't the best to be putting in your eBay store when you are just getting started. And you might be wondering,
Bo, what's wrong with those brands? Why shouldn't I be putting them in my eBay store?
well, I'll tell you this. The last thing that you want is to put in all the time and effort into sourcing, photos, and listing, all to be said and done, and you're listing things that have a low average sale price and a low sell-through rate, which is why in this video we're going to be going over the top 5 favorite brands not to resell, brands to be avoiding, especially when you're just starting out. Now, why I think this is important is the last thing that we want is to have a 10,000 item store full of Faded Glory, Merona, and Taylor Loft, and we're selling 5 to 10 items a day. While that may sound good, your store should be better optimized by selling better items that are more in demand, that command a better average sale price. So let's jump into the computer here and let's figure out what types of brands that we should be avoiding when we are a beginner reseller. First, I want to start off by saying we're going to be looking at these brands as a whole, which means we're going to be looking at the total amount listed on eBay. So you may be able to find certain sizes, certain styles, certain material styles with these brands that may sell better than others. You may find a silk and Taylor Loft blouse that has a 100% sell-through rate in size 2X, but we're going to be looking at the entire market, which is why it's important to really know these types of brands when you're just starting out so you can avoid them in the future. And then as you gain more experience and knowledge, you'll be able to identify, okay, and Taylor Loft 3X and above has a 75% sell-through rate. I'm going to add that category to my brand list. So that's the difference. We're going to be giving that broad ballpark view of the total amount of those items listed on eBay, so we know we can avoid them when we're just getting started. So something I've been doing recently in my resale business is doing cross-listing, and I've been so anti-cross-listing for my first few years. But up until recently, Vendoo has just released a auto delist feature. And what this enables us to do as resellers is get our items in front of more customers to be able to get more sales. But this auto delist feature is the key, and that's what made me switch over, is because I didn't want to have to manage all these different platforms when different items sold. So the auto delist feature enables AI through Vendoo to be able to take the items down, whether they sell on Poshmark or eBay, and they get auto delisted. So you don't have to worry about managing all the sales that come through. So another cool feature, they have that auto white background removal tool, so you can have your items stick out and pop a little bit more. Also, they have a great data analytics tracking on their platform, so you can really know how much money you're actually making. One of the best parts about Vendoo is they have different tiers. You can do your first 5 listings for free and just try out the platform, see if you like it, and you can upgrade from there. So you can check out link down below where you can get started on Vendoo. You can try it out, you can see how you like it, and just go as you need. You know, you don't need to cross list all 4,000 items at once. Try it out, see if you like it, and see if you want to be able to start getting more sales, whether you're selling on eBay or you're selling on Poshmark. Having more buyers see your items is going to be a good thing. I don't see in any way how that is a bad thing. So getting it on Vendoo and being able to take advantage of more buyers on different platforms is going to be a great way that you guys can grow your business. I'm trying it, and right now I've just hit 15 sales in 15 days using Vendoo, cross-listing my items on Poshmark. So my plan is to cross-list about all 9,800 items and see how it does, and so far Vendoo to has been a beautiful experience. So like I said, check it down below. So the first brand we're going to be looking at, as you have guessed, is Ann Taylor Loft. There's over 220,000 active listings under that brand. So Ann Taylor Loft is usually the mall or the outlet store for Ann Taylor. So more of a tier down from Ann Taylor, even though Ann Taylor itself isn't that good. It sells well for retail, but it doesn't resell for much on eBay. So Ann Taylor Loft, 220,000 listed. We're going to be checking the sold price so we can get a good calculation of what the sell-through rate is. And when we're talking about sell-through rate, we're calculating how many of those items are listed on eBay and how many items have sold on eBay in the last 90 days. So those percentage numbers I'm going to give you is the percent based on how many actives and how many have sold in the last 90 days. And that's going to give you the percentage. That's going to give you the chances, the odds of that percentage of how it's going to sell and if it's going to sell in the next 90 days. So Ann Taylor Loft, we're checking the solds. Let's see. It might be surprising. So we have 20,000 Ann Taylor Loft pieces of clothing have sold in the last 90 days. So if we divide 20,000 by the amount that is active, 220,000, we're going to come out with a percentage of 9%. So your Ann Taylor Loft item has a 9% chance generally to sell in the next 90 days. So that means if you pick up generic Ann Taylor Loft, it may not sell for 3 years, 4 years. So keep that in mind going forward. And I wanted to start the video by saying that doesn't mean, you can't pick up Ann Taylor Loft in maybe a plus size, and that may sell 50% sell-through rate. But we're getting a general overview of these brands, and this video is mainly geared toward people who are just getting going in their reselling business. If you have thousands of items in your store and you have a high listing goal, I don't blame you for picking up Ann Taylor Loft. I pick it up occasionally, and it sells occasionally. So that's why this is important, but I wanted to make the video because I wish that I had a do not buy video out there. You see a lot of Bolo brand videos out there, but not too many do not buy videos. So this is one of them. And the next one is going to be Merona. Who's heard of Merona before? So Merona is 40,000 clothing items listed on eBay. And we have how many sold? We've got 4,300 sold in the last 90 days, giving us a sell-through rate of 10%. So 10% sell-through rate, not the best. And when I'm just starting out, if I were to start my eBay business over again, I would focus on items with an average sale price of 20 and above. This is my listing goal being between 5, 10, 15 listings a day. So average sale price of 20 and above, and a sell-through rate of 50% sell-through rate and higher. That would be my main focus. And you might be wondering, Bo, where am I going to find all those 50% sell-through rate items? That just means you're going to have to get good at sourcing. And you really need to be proficient at sourcing if you just know nothing about selling clothing, because that's how you're going to speed up your learning curve. That's how you're going to gain knowledge, looking up every single item you put into your cart, seeing if this is hitting my metrics, then I'm going to buy it. If it's not hitting my metrics, I'm going to put it back. And you need to have that sort of discipline in your business, because like I said earlier in the video, you do not want to have a 10,000 item store that only sells 5 items a day. So to avoid that, we want to set some standards, and we want to hit those standards and be disciplined. So that just means you're going to have to get on your horse, and you're going to have to source a little bit more. And it might be grueling to start, but no, it's just a season. Because once you look up an item, you usually don't need to go back and look it up. You can log that in your memory bank, and you can go, okay, Ann Taylor Loft, 10% sell-through rate. I'm going to avoid that right now. And then as I get more experience in looking things up, maybe Ann Taylor Loft 2X blouses, I'm going to pick those up because I saw a 75% sell-through rate, but only 2X and above. So that's the point I'm trying to make here. And the next brand we're going to be looking at, so we saw Ann Taylor Loft, we got Merona. The next one is Faded Glory. Have you heard of Faded Glory? I'm sure you have. So not the best brand. So there is 29,000 Faded Glory items selling on eBay right now, active. How many have sold in the last 90 days? 5,600. That might seem like a lot, but out of 29,000, it is a 19% sell-through rate. Not the best, not the best sell-through rate. What did I say about sell-through rate? We want to pick up 50% and higher when we're just starting out. Say you have 50 items in your eBay store and you're wondering what types of brands should I be picking up and what's going to qualify that brand for me to pick it up. Sell-through rate, average sale price. Those are the things that are really important to really get cash flow, positive cash flow flowing in your business. The next one we're looking at is Time and True, a Walmart brand. There's 57,000 Time and True clothing items on eBay. And how many have sold in the last 90 days? We got 9,000 sold in the last 90 days, giving us a sell-through rate of 15%. For me, that's not going to hit my metrics. That's not an item that I'm going to be putting in my store when I'm just starting out. The next brand is Old Navy. Old Navy, one of the biggest brands out there. 340,000 items listed. I believe Old Navy is one of the biggest clothing brand out there for mass-produced clothing items. 340,000, one of the largest amounts on eBay. So the sold is 44,000 sold in the last 90 days, giving us a sell-through rate of 12%. So it's really important to have a strategy when you're just getting started into reselling and reselling clothing in particular. You want to know average sale price. You want to know the velocity of the supply and the demand, which means checking the sell-through rates so you can really be successful in your reselling business. And it's okay. Maybe you do have a few of these items listed in your store. Do not get discouraged. Just don't get into the thousands of items in your store and it's all Morona, Faded Glory, Time and True. That's a scary thing. So don't do that. So just really look up every item that you go to the Goodwill bins or the thrift stores or the garage sales. Look it up, look up the size, see if that sell-through rate's going to work for you. And I'm really speaking to the beginners because when you just start out, you don't have a warehouse. You don't have 5 storage units to store your items. You're usually working out of your spare bedroom or maybe even a closet or the garage, and you really want to maximize your space. So by maximizing your space, you're going to want to focus on high sell-through rate items. It's so important and is doable. There's people in our Patreon that I run with Marcus Dixon and I. We have people in there with 300 item stores, but they're selling 300 items in the last 90 days because they're picking up items that they set standards on and say, I am not picking up items that have a sell-through rate of 30% and lower because I'm working out of my garage and I need these items to flow through my store. So I really just encourage you guys to gain some knowledge, look up the sell-through rates, and see if that's going to be a right fit for you. So I wanted to make this video mainly for beginner resellers because you see all the videos out there of what to buy, the BOLO brand list, check this out, what did I need to get started in my reselling business. I wanted to make a video on what not to buy because I think that's just as important, if not more important, because you get excited when you're first starting your reselling business. You could say you can make money on this, I can make money on that, but it's really important that we need to figure out what type of standards are we going to implement in our business, meaning what type of sell-through rate are you aiming for to put in your business? What type of average sale price are you looking to hit after fees, and what's your net and what's your margin? Those are some key indicators that you need to track, especially when you're just starting out, which is why it's important not to just fill your store with a bunch of stuff. Like Ann Taylor Loft is an okay brand, but would I suggest picking that up when you're just starting out? No. Faded Glory, some of those items sell better than others, but I would not suggest picking up all Faded Glory when you're just starting out. So this video was basically made for the beginner to be able to have brands to stay away from. Maybe you want to pick them up when you're 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 items in your store, but if you're just starting and you have a couple hundred items, you need to focus on high sell-through rate and preferably $20 average sale price and above so you can take those profits and reinvest them into more items. And if you're wanting to see my BOLO brand list and you want to know what brands that I'm actually looking to pick up on a daily and a weekly basis, you can check out link down below where you can download my free ebook where it goes over my top 50 BOLO brands with current sell-through rates and with a brief description. Or if you just want a video version, you can just check out this video right here where it goes over my top 10 brands within those 50 brands, going over why I pick them up, what I expect to pay, and what I want to sell them for. I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.